It is July 11th, 2018. We are here in front of the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial, which is in Taipei, Taiwan. Chiang Kai-shek was the leader of China from 1928 to 1975. He was the longest running leader that was non-royal in the history of China. Then things changed. He died in 1975 and things changed. He ruled in 1949 from exile here in Taiwan. Very important figures. You can see by the size, the massiveness of that building. But that's not what I've come to talk about. This man was about freedom for his country. We're talking about freedom of a different kind. Someone asked me to talk about what it takes and why I started doing periods of chastity. I'm in my 18th period of chastity in the last 30 years. In 3 weeks, it'll be 30 years since I've been in sex addiction recovery. I've done 17 periods of 60 days or more, including a 7.5-month period, my very first one, a 19-month period, which was my third one, and then I did a 4-year period several years back. But most of them are 60 days. That's just what I learned, is 60 days constitutes a legitimate hard mode, monk mode, or chastity period. I want to talk about why would I even do such a thing. When I was 30 years ago, actually 31 years ago, I was in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I had a slip after 6 years over a woman, just like Ebby, one of Bill Wilson's founder, did. And when I got back to AA the next day, because I was only gone one day, and it was a really terrible experience. It was just nauseated, literally nauseated. It's like having a fever. I got back and I read the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous and said, if you want to not drink again, you need to do 3 things. One is give up resentments. That means hating people. Second is give up fear. That means not acting cowardly. And the third thing was to not have selfish or dishonest sex. So I began to look at my life and I decided, well, what's selfish and dishonest? And I was cheating on my first wife and I was masturbating every day. And those things were clearly selfish and dishonest for me. And so God sent me somebody to brought me from a meeting from AA to SLAA, and I went to my first meeting. Now, in that particular meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, it was the only one I was going to, and they had a requirement that you had to do 60 days of no sex with yourself or anyone else to be able to speak or to lead meetings or tell your story or read the promises or sponsor or do anything, be secretary or treasurer, anything like that. And as you can tell, I like to talk, and they wouldn't let me talk until I did my 60 days. It took me 22 months to get my first 60-day celibacy period, or hard mode, or monk mode as we now call it. It was the most transformational period in my life. It changed me more than anything except not drinking, and it was so galvanizing and so empowering and gave me such clarity and intuition and social resilience. That's extremely important, social resilience. That means if somebody tries to shame, blame, or control me, it just rolls off me like water on a duck's butt. That's a tremendous, tremendous social advantage. And those are some of the gifts that come from chastity. So I've done that 17 times, 17 hard mode or monk modes for 60 days or more, up to 4 years. I am now, today, in my 11th day of a new chastity period. I'm not committed to 60 days, just doing it one day at a time. But I wanted to talk about that and why I did that. What in the world would possess a man to stop having sex when he could have sex? That's the reason, because it's incredibly fortifying, edifying, galvanizing, empowering, more than anything I can think of. And so I wanted to do it here in front of the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial here in Taipei, Taiwan on July 11th. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.